Okay, good morning.
Morning.
David?
Yeah, not to ask for your legal expertise, but if Lyle Collins with his temporary injunction, if he is cleared, what would his status be as potentially joining the team, playing when he would play, that just the logistics of it?
We really haven't talked much about it just because of, the ongoing situation, just the uncertainty of everything. So as of right now, there's not a plan in place, for this week, but we'll just keep evaluating it.
How has Steele played in the games that he's had to play for?
I think Terrence has played well. You look at the matchups that he's gone through, and starting with week 2, he's graded out very well. And I think, like anything, we talk about this a lot when we talk about offensive line. I think such a huge part of it is consecutive starts, with your offensive line, and you can see the right side is getting better. The cohesiveness between him and Zach, but I think he's put together a couple nice games.
What type of conditioning is Collins in? I mean, I know he can't practice with y'all, but you talk about this conditioning, what he's doing.
I think he's done a good job when he was away from here. So that's the feedback that I get from Harold and Britt. So I feel good about where he is.
Amari was talking about the state program yesterday and mentioned how helpful the mental conditioning side of it was. When did you add mental conditioning to the state program, and why?
We added it last year. It's just it's part of what stay is about. It's a mode of regeneration. Obviously not just physically but mentally and emotionally. So it's been part of our program since last year.
Is that something that y'all will confer with Chad on what message the team needs this week, or if he decides on his own?
I'm sorry, I missed the first part.
Amari was saying that Chad would give them a different message every week. Is that something that you and he get together and confer on, here's what we need, or how do you decide?
Yeah, all the messaging is coordinated. Chad does a phenomenal job. He's back a little earlier than he probably wanted to be, full time from the Yankees. Saw him, he flew in this morning, so saw him earlier. But yes, it's all part of the plan, the week, and just trying to, emphasize and trigger and just make sure our guys are getting what they need.
As a Red Sox fan, I think he's back just on time.
Yankee fan, right? He's a nice person.
Well, good. I mean, I'm glad this platform can be, fandom for baseball. That's awesome. Yeah, we're very eclectic operation here.
Cooper and Elliott and Gregory came through yesterday. Okay, look like.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, we obviously had the mock game today, so they'll participate in that, and I don't foresee them having any challenges tomorrow.
You probably don't have any hard and fast rules because it depends on the time of the year and the injury, but when a player has been out for 3-4 weeks or more, a prolonged period, do you normally at least want to see them go through a full week of practice before you talk about putting them back into a game, or what are your guidelines when you look at that? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I think you got to be cognizant of it. I think on the other extreme, you look at Chauncey Goldstein. What he was able to do, but there's. I really want to, commend our strength conditioning and our training staff. If you watch Britt work these guys and Harold and the whole staff, it's they do a really good job of staying on top of these guys and football simulated movements and some of the things that are in place training wise that they've done here for a long time. They do a really good job of getting guys game ready, in the non-football team activities. So I think that's a real strength of our program, so that'll definitely be part of the decision.
Mike, what's the genesis of the state program for you? I think you told us before you felt like you ran the team into the ground. I don't know if that was in training camp or during the season one year. Like, what kind of said, okay, I need to change this and look at this operation and how it goes?
Well, I think like all of us in professional sports, I mean, the injuries you really have to take a hard look at, especially in season, is the soft tissue, and that was the driving force. You're always trying to train your team, the best possible way, as they go into each and every game. That's part of the decision making. So I just, at the time, when you look at regeneration, everything was done individually in an outsourced mindset, and coaching a young football team each and every year. the conversation was started was, well, we have to do this in-house because we got all these young players. You're in a town that may not have the resources that other major cities have. So how can we do a better job of having a period of regeneration built into the working schedule? Because the norm in my time in the league until the state program started was all these things, the extra modalities and everything were done outside of the organization. So the thought was to bring it inside and take a 2-hour block and put it towards regeneration and who can do that better than the Dallas Cowboys. So I mean that's all part of the thinking. The players appreciate it. It enhances their opportunity to come off of a really hard practice on Thursday and and how we take it into Saturday and into the game is we feel has been beneficial and helps our performance.
How would you assess how Biadasz has played so far this year?
I think he's done some really good things. I thought he clearly played better last week than he did the week before. But Tyler's continue to grow, and I think as these games we get further into the year, hopefully there may not be as many as unscouted looks and just more anticipation in the preparation phase that of the things you're actually going to see on Sundays. I think that helps, but I think he's off to a good start.
Willis, he has an offensive line background coaching in this league. When you hired him, was that a big part of the draw for you, and how have you seen that manifest in the way that the tight ends have played?
Well, if you ever had a chance to interview him and talk football with him, I think, and he has some people in his background that I've worked with and have a lot of respect for. So he does an excellent job, and I think you have to remember the tight ends, next to the quarterback, probably have the second most responsibility because of their responsibility both in the run and the protection and the pass game. So I mean they're part of all three phases in a primary role of our offense, and he does a phenomenal job. He's an excellent teacher, tireless worker, very passionate about the coaching profession and loves his guys, and I think he's created a tremendous environment for that tight end room.
Dan was talking about an exercise he did with the defensive players where they each went around and wrote for each other what they wanted from each other on the team. What did you think of that exercise, and how key is it to have those identified roles and remembering what your teammates?
No, I loved it, and it was impressive to read them, and I really respected the candidness of each player towards one another, and because you could see the list of each player and coach in the room that day, how consistent the message was for each individual. So there wasn't it wasn't a wide range of opinions of their teammates. So I think that tells you a number of things. I think that tells you the connection that they have in the room, the honesty they have, and continue to try to grow. And I think, like anything, when you put it in writing and you can reference it, it's real. And I think the individual, when he reads that about himself too, I mean, what a great self-evaluation tool to look to. So I thought the exercise was awesome.
The coaches were involved in the exercise in terms of they had a part that was passed along as well?
Absolutely, yes.
Just defensive, or were you part of that?
It was just the defensive room.
Is that what you feel about us when we put it in writing?
Well, that's it. I guess Rich didn't tell you. That's what we're going to do next here, right, man? As soon as you turn that camera off, we can get real candid here.
We've got 10 minutes.
Good.